This news update is brought to you by...
It's the most wonderful time to stay connected with Flow. Get great deals on prepaid and postpaid plans. Get double the talk, double the text, and double the data when you activate a prepaid or postpaid combo plan, sizes medium and up. All this plus $50,000 to be won from Flow this wonderful Christmas. Visit us in-store today.
'Cause it's the most wonderful time of the year.
2017, and this is your Barbados Today evening update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, a Silver Hill Christchurch man was sentenced to 2 years behind bars on each of 35 charges that include 17 counts of theft. When 53-year-old Tyrone Antonio King appeared in court, he pleaded guilty to all of the offences. The sentences will run concurrent, which means he will only spend 2 years in jail. King was also accused of 8 counts of disorderly behavior, 2 counts of burglary, 7 of criminal damage, and 1 of going eclipse. The Central Bank of Barbados again warns of the need for additional fiscal measures that could be painful in order to avoid possible devaluation of the dollar. In his January economic letter released today, Bank Governor Dr. Deloy Worrell said that since 2013, Barbados had failed to achieve the balance between its foreign exchange inflows and outflows, which speaks to a stable economy. He said there is therefore a need to dampen spending further so as to protect the country's reserves of foreign exchange. He noted that the reserves are what protect the island against the devaluation of its currency. Now, however, Dr. Worrell assured that the bank remains in a position to provide US dollars at the 2-to-1 exchange rate to meet all legitimate needs if no other source was sufficient. Meanwhile, Barbados and the International Monetary Fund have been discussing the state of this country's economy when a Barbados delegation that included Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair and the Central Bank Governor attended recent annual meetings of the IMF and World Bank in Washington, D.C. Barbados also told the fund what kind of impact this country expected from the fiscal measures approved by Parliament last August. A statement from the Central Bank issued today did not go into details about any outcomes. However, it said that growth prospects for the Caribbean, fiscal sustainability, and investment in the green economy were also discussed during the annual conferences. The Ministry of Education will on Friday hold meetings with 2 interest groups of the Combermere School. It will meet separately with parents and guardians of students who attend the school at its Waterford location at 1 p.m. and at 3 p.m. that same day, a meeting will be held with the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union at the ministry. Acting Minister of Education Harry Husbands is appealing to all concerned to attend the very important meeting, which is aimed at informing them on the status of the school, which has been temporarily closed since November due to environmental problems. The president of the Islands Road Safety Association has joined the chorus of criticisms against the recent Facebook posting by Cabinet Minister Dennis Kelman, who questioned whether potholes could save lives. Speaking to reporters this morning at Sergeant's Village, Christchurch, before putting down bright-colored warning signs of potholes in sections of the island, Charmaine Roland Bowen said that Kelman's comments was made out of ignorance.
These potholes, these are a threat to safety. These are hazards. And if we can get these rectified, that is one way of reducing our accidents on the roads, because it also leads to aggressive driving. You know, it leads to rear-end crashes, it leads to people swerving, people, you know, they don't save lives. To answer that question, no, they cannot save lives. They don't. What saves lives are the breathalyzer, you know, getting legislation to stop people from drinking and driving, getting legislation to stop people from driving distracted by using a handheld phone. We already have the legislation, so now we say enforcing the legislation that require all persons, even persons within the backseat of vehicles, to wear those seat belts.
The possibility of stumbling upon marijuana plots while hunting for honey in bushy areas across the island has stung beekeepers into fearing for their lives. One bee farmer said that as recently as October last year, he was chased by a group of men after stumbling upon a marijuana patch in a forested area in St. Joseph. It is for this reason that President of the Barbados Beekeeping Association, David Small, is advocating that those interested in the honey business to keep bees rather than venture into dangerous territory.
I would encourage people to practice keeping bees, because if you hear of something is going on and you put yourself in a position to compromise your life, then it's not really even although you're looking for a living, honest living, right? And so I would encourage anybody to keep bees rather than go out looking at no to in the world to look for bees, unless there's a rock cliff here where you could actually go and break off the road.
In sports now, a 105-year-old Frenchman has set a new record for the furthest distance cycled in 1 hour. Robert Marchand managed 14 miles at the National Velodrome, taking the top spot in a new category for riders over 105. Marchand also holds the record for those aged over 100, and that's 26.927 kilometers set in 2012. You know what they say, age is just a number.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Get your paper, get your paper. Only 225, 220. Who? For what? That's Bear Stare News. I don't read about that on Barbados today since last night. That can't only can't do. 220. Who?
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
God, these papers ain't selling at all. Get your paper, get your paper. Only 225, get your paper. Get your paper, miss. Look, take it, I can pay for it. Barbados Today, all the way.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Nominations have closed for elections to the Tobago House of Assembly, with only 4 parties confirmed to contest the January 23rd poll. The TOP, led by Ashwood Jack and the Tobago Liberation Movement, will not be taking part. When nominations closed today at 3 p.m., the 4 parties filing papers were the PDP, the PNM, the Tobago Forwards, and the Movement for Transformation, all expressing confidence in victory at the polls.
Leader of the Movement for Transformation, Eugene Job Davis, said the nomination process went smoothly. Mrs. Job Davis will be fielding 3 candidates, while the PNM has a full slate of 12.
How are you feeling going into this election?
Well, you see, this is about the people of Tobago, and my own sentiments are that people need proper representation, which they have not had over the past years.
The leader of the Tobago Council of the PNM, Kelvin Charles, also vouched for the efficiency of the nomination process and expressed confidence that the PNM will be given another term leading the THA come January 23rd.
Well, we are quite confident that we will retain control of the Tobago House of Assembly.
And there was much fanfare as the Tobago Forwards candidates, led by leader Chrislyn Moore, walked from their head office in Scarborough through the streets in a sea of blue. The party's manifesto will be launched on Thursday.
Come out on Thursday at Lower Milford Road opposite the Gomes building to hear the presentation of the manifesto. And Liz, I guarantee you there's nothing else like it in the landscape. We have developed our full energy policy, our full housing policy, our full roads policy.
And the fanfare continued with the arrival of leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots, Watson Duke. He led his candidates from the PSA's office through the streets of Scarborough, accompanied by his wife and children and his supporters. Duke said there was some delay during the nomination process with respect to an error on a check, but it was later rectified. He said he is confident of victory.
And on the international scene, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called for a pardon for a soldier convicted of manslaughter for killing a wounded Palestinian. Elor Azaria, 19 at the time, shot Abdul Fattah al-Sharif, who was 21, in the head while he was lying immobile on the road. A military court convicted the soldier after dismissing his assertion that the Palestinians still posed a danger. That's news and sports, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic evening.